The hardest roads lead to the most beautiful destinations. What if I told you that every struggle, every heartbreak, and every challenge you've ever faced wasn't there to break you, but to build you? Think about it. Every success story, every person who has ever achieved greatness has one thing in common. They walked a difficult road. They faced obstacles, failures, and moments of absolute despair, but they didn't quit. And because of that, they reached destinations more beautiful than they ever imagined. But why does life work this way? Why does it seem like the things we want the most, whether it's success, happiness, fulfillment, are hidden behind mountains of struggle? And more importantly, how do we keep moving forward when it feels like everything is going against us? Entertain me for a second. Imagine you're lost in a dense forest. It's dark, the path is unclear, and every step forward feels impossible. You're cold, tired, and every voice in your head is telling you to turn back. In this situation, you have two choices. Number one, you could give up, turn around, retreat to safety, and stay exactly where you are. But number two, you could keep pushing forward. You can trust that even though you can't see the destination, you know it's there waiting for you on the other side of the storm. And most people turn back. Most people choose comfort over challenge, safety over struggle. But the ones who push forward, the ones who keep going, they're the ones who reach the breathtaking destinations. Because just beyond the hardest moments in life is everything you've ever wanted. Now, why the hard road is always the best road? Let's talk about some of the most incredible stories in histories. Stories that prove that struggle isn't a sign you're on the wrong path. It's literal proof you're on the right one. We all know Oprah. She went from rejection to a global icon. Oprah wasn't supposed to succeed. She was born into poverty. She faced abuse, discrimination, and rejection after rejection in her career. She was even told at one point she wasn't fit for television. But one thing she didn't do was let the roadblocks stop her. She kept moving forward, despite the odds. And today, she's one of the most influential figures in the world. Another person is Thomas Edison. He had 10,000 failures before success. Imagine failing 10,000 times before getting it right. Most people will quit after a few tries, but he didn't. When he was working on the light bulb, people called him crazy. They laughed at his repeated failures, but his response was, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And because he didn't quit, the world is brighter. Literally. Then you have Nelson Mandela. We all know he spent 27 years in prison. I mean, think about that. 27 years in prison. Most people wouldn't survive a fraction of that time without losing hope. But he endured, never losing sight of his vision for a free and equal South Africa. And when he was finally released, he didn't seek revenge. He led a movement of peace and unity. And because he didn't let that hardship break him, he literally changed the world. Then you have J.K. Rowling, a story that a lot of us know. Another person who went through rejection after rejection. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, J.K. Rowling was a struggling single mother, also living in poverty just like Oprah, but she was battling depression and she was being rejected by 12 different publishers. Most people would have given up, but she didn't. She kept going. And because she did, she built a magical world that has inspired millions. Do you see the pattern? These aren't just cliches. Every great success story starts with some sort of struggle. So if you're struggling right now, maybe you're just in the first chapter of your own success story. Now let's step away from human stories for a moment and let's look at nature. Because I feel like nature itself is a proof that the hardest battles often lead to the greatest strengths. For example, look at a butterfly. When a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, it has to break free from its cocoon. This struggle is essential because if someone tries to help by cutting the cocoon open, the butterfly will never develop the strength to fly. The struggle is literally what makes it strong. Then you have the tree that stands in the storm, right? A tree that grows in perfect conditions, no wind, no storms, ends up weak. Its roots are shallow. The first strong wind that comes along knocks it down. But a tree that faces a storm, that's a different story. The wind forces its roots to grow deeper, making it stronger, more resilient, and capable of withstanding anything. And we are no different. Without struggle, we don't grow. We don't strengthen ourselves. We don't become who we were meant to become. Easy roads tend to lead nowhere, right? Let's imagine two paths. One is smooth, easy, requires little effort. You can take it without breaking a sweat. The other road is steep, rocky, and exhausting. It tests your strength, your patience, and your willpower. But which road is it that most people take? The easy one. But here's the problem with that. Easy roads lead nowhere. The view from an easy road is average. The rewards are small. The destination is ordinary. But the difficult road, that's where the magic happens. That's where you transform. That's where you become stronger. And that's where you find out what you're truly capable of. And then what happens is when you reach the top, the view, the reward is worth every single step. So how do you keep going when the road does get tough? How do you keep moving forward when everything feels impossible? You have to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, start seeing them as tests. Life isn't saying you can't do it, you can't do this. It's asking, how bad do you want it? Focus on the next step, not the whole journey. The mountain looks impossible when you stare at the peak. Instead, focus on the next step. Just one step forward, one at a time, then another and another, and you keep going. Remember why you started. When you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you started, what's your dream, your goal, your reason for pushing forward, and keep that vision in your mind. Next, use failure as fuel. Every setback, every rejection, every failure, it's not the end. It's a stepping stone. Learn from it, adapt, and keep going. Next, trust that the road leads somewhere beautiful. Even if you can't see the destination yet, have faith. Trust that it's there. Keep climbing, because one day you're going to look back and realize that every single struggle was worth it. And it's true. The reward at the end is worth it. The view is worth it. Right now, you might be walking through a tough road. You might be doubting yourself, wondering if it's worth the struggle. But please let me tell you this. You're closer than you think. It's happened in my life. It's happened in countless other people's lives. Every person who has ever reached any kind of greatness started where you are. They face doubt, fear, pain, but what sets them apart from everyone else is they keep going no matter what. And you are no different. You can too. Because one day when you finally reach the top, you're gonna look back at the journey, the struggles, the pain, the moments when you almost quit, and you'll realize it literally made you who you are. And the view will be more beautiful than you could ever imagine. So keep going. Don't stop. Don't take these messages as cliches. They might sound corny, but that doesn't dismiss their truth. It doesn't dismiss their reality, and it doesn't dismiss its power. If this inspired you, if this video gave you any kind of new perspective, show love, hit that like button, share, comment, and so on and so forth. But please, the one thing I want you to remember is to keep going through that struggle. You're not unique with your struggles. What makes people unique are the ones who decide to keep going no matter what. All right. So keep climbing. The best is yet to come. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, stay humble, keep going, and be blessed.